Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back. We are currently in beautiful, amazing, wonderful Musandam right now. We cannot wait to talk about the adventures we've had in just 3 days. My name is Freddy. So, Erin, how's the past 3 days been?
The past 3 days have been fantastic. It's funny because we just took a plane from Muscat, so it was about a 45-minute plane ride. And I was talking to somebody yesterday, and I thought, oh, I'm going back to Oman. Oh wait, I'm still in Oman. So I kind of forgot that we are still in Oman.
Really, I mean, I second that. The experience here has just been absolutely brilliant. I mean, we are sitting in what I would like to maybe call the waterfront. I mean, we've got this beautiful scene just in front of us, and we've got mountains behind us. It's out of a storybook, really. What's been the best part of the last 3 days?
Gosh, it's funny because I asked you this question yesterday, and you said it's hard to say the best part. And I would agree because I've loved everything. I mean, we've gone on a boat ride and we've gone hiking. We've been to
the hiking.
we'll get into the hiking, right? We've been to Kasam Castle, even just going for a drive, and everything has been unique in its own way. I mean, I did snorkeling yesterday and that was great. And then I did, you and I went for a boat ride the night before and that was beautiful. Absolutely stunning going around. And the hiking, oh my gosh, those views, also incredible.
I agree. I mean, it was difficult for me too. They were just so beautiful in their own ways. We did the land, so that was a mountain. I mean, similar to something like this behind us, probably higher, I think.
Definitely higher.
Yeah. And it was a lunge. So if anybody wants to come over to Musandam and do a hike like this, I'm a novice at it. Erin's the expert, but she agrees that it's a medium to hard one. Yes, we also did the sea. So we took a boat ride in between mountains, which was just so gorgeous. It was out of this world, really.
Yeah.
We are going to show you some pictures, a couple of videos as well that we took out. Erin's got some really good shots, which we're going to share with you in just a moment. And we were going to do the air as well.
We were going to do the air. We were going to do zip line. It is the longest zip line over water, but because of the, what do they call it, headwind, not able to go today. So we've decided that we will just come back for zip lining only.
Yes, and that definitely is on the cards. So that gives you an idea about how good it must be and how badly, we want to do it as well. I believe the entire experience starts and ends in about 90 seconds.
That's what I was reading about. It's just less than, I think I read it's less than 2 kilometers. I think it's 1.8 something. I don't know. I should read it. I should know. But that's what I believe I read. I'll have to double check.
Right.
And and a minute and a half is apparently the journey of the zip line. But we were watching videos when we went inside the lobby at Oman Adventures. But we just thought, okay, it's just a sign that we need to come back.
Yes, maybe Musandam's calling us to, back just to do this. So the zip line starts off at the top of a mountain, pretty much like this one again, behind us, probably higher.
Yes.
and comes over the water, which I believe is about 120 feet or something, and ends at the Atana Hotel here in Kasam. That's definitely something I'm looking forward to. So, Erin, what else do you want to talk about today?
Well,
we are having this wonderful holiday.
Yeah, it really has been wonderful. And, I just want to point out that, Musandam, we both agree, it just kind of feels like a place that has just kind of stood still in time, and
I agree.
It's
Yeah, it
you'll
does.
see it when you drive, and of course I've seen pictures. You know, I've had friends that have come here and just say amazing things. I mean, anywhere that you go in Oman, right, as
Yeah.
we know, is just beautiful. It is just like you've stepped back in time. You've got a mix of old houses, and then you've got kind of, and but also it's a very laid back, quiet. You don't even have to, even if you're not a water person and you don't like hiking, even just to come here, because plenty of people, when I, for example, did the 3 hour Dow cruise yesterday, many people didn't go swimming. They were just there for the ride, and amazing that we got to see dolphins. And, you know, that was just incredible in itself. So you don't even have to come here for hiking. It's,
Yeah.
if you're not into, you know, adventure, a really nice place to come and just kind of recharge. But I was thinking, as we were, you know, as we're at the hotel, you come from hospitality background, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So I just wanted to pick your brain and just ask you a bunch of questions about hospitality, if you're open for it.
Sure, why not? Yeah, yeah, knock yourself out. I mean, I'm not sure I'm dressed for the occasion, but you know what? It is a holiday, and I'm talking about hospitality. That's my background. Yes.
That's right. So, okay, so Freddie, you've been in hospitality for 20 years, or more than 20 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say about, yeah, between 30, 35 years. Totally.
Total,
you know,
total.
about 14 years in operations and 20 years in education and training. So, yeah.
So lots of experience. Now tell me
Yeah.
about, what was your first job in hospitality?
Well, funnily enough, my first job in hospitality was that of a DJ.
Oh, really?
Yes, it was. I just had to get out. I just wanted to explore my options, see what I was into, you know, discover myself. And this was straight after school.
All right.
Before I started college and working at the same time. So I just wanted to explore what the possibilities were, and I landed this job as a DJ. You know, back in the day, DJing was something else.
And this is at a hotel, right? That you,
Well, this was at a restaurant actually.
Okay.
This was at a restaurant back in my hometown, back in Bangalore. If any of you know, it's on Residency Road. You know, right in between all the schools and colleges, the academic district. But yeah, it was a DJ. Yeah, and my first song was Self Control by Laura Branigan.
and how long did you DJ for before you realized, okay, let's make the jump into hospitality? I mean, what made you decide to choose hospitality?
Well, safe to say, hospitality happened to me by accident, you know, because, well, I was in that environment. Even though, you know, you were DJing, you know, you had to be courteous, you had to look after customers, you had to take requests, you know, you couldn't say no too often. There's just this environment of homeliness that you have to provide anyway. So I started getting comfortable with that, you know, with that atmosphere.
Yeah.
And it turned out I was doing what I loved as well. You know, I was into, you know, the music just, you know, back there. So yeah, have your cake and eat it too.
And then from after being a DJ, then what was your first hotel job?
Well, my first hotel job was a butler. But before I get into that, it's interesting how I got into it.
Okay.
Because there was the newspapers. Yes, we did have newspapers back then.
We're good Catholic boy.
Good story for another day because there are a few. And yes, suddenly my year and a half job of just going to work and enjoying myself and just being with music turned serious.
Yeah.
You know, in a year and a half, I had to make a decision on what I wanted to do, and I just took this. I just took this job. I don't know what the actual reason was. I guess I just wanted to get out. just wanted to get out and explore the world and explore what career opportunities, life opportunities, people opportunities were out there. So I just took it.
And there you go. And then you obviously decided that this career path was for you because, as you said, your first job was a butler, and then I know that you've done many other
Yeah.
many other sectors of hospitality as well.
Yeah. Things that just hit you, as soon as you hit the ground. And you're suddenly so grateful for having a job,
Yeah.
really,
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
So can you tell me, because you've worked in so many areas, is it hard to choose favorite? Like, which part has been your favorite? If there is a favorite, or maybe you all like them equally in your own way.
Well, yeah, it's kind of hard to pick a favorite because, each of the jobs in hospitality are unique in their own way. You can't really compare one with the other. I guess it's just where where your heart goes. For example, I was in butler training before I moved down to the kitchen
All right.
to train. Um, but I spent a few years, as a butler, and oh my goodness, the sheer epitome of greatness in hospitality service, that was second to none.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, you had to really study about everything in terms of food, cuisine, service, food and beverage service, wines and cigars and food pairings and things like that. It was just out of this world, and I'm so grateful that I went through all that, because sitting here 30 years later, you tend to think back, is it the same as it used to be, or has it changed?
And that was going to be one of my questions.
Yeah.
Would you say it's changed?
Well, I'm asking myself the question. I remember how it used to be when you were just hospitable by default,
Yeah.
right? And you just knew your job, and you could make decisions no matter what position you had, and you were trusted, you were empowered to do different things, regardless of what the job was. You were left alone,
Yeah.
to do your work, to perform your tasks, whether it's setting up for breakfast the next morning, or whether it's setting up for a 12-course dinner menu. You were just let be, really, because you were trained, your training was assessed, you were mentored, you were buddied, and you were trusted to do the tasks that you were given responsibility for.
Yeah.
So I don't think much of that still exists.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, and that's coming from experiences. Yeah, over the years.
And do you think it's partial too because of how things are now with technology and the way that people interact at hotels and with the guest experience?
Yeah.
Do you think
I guess-
that is, or do you just think it's in general how it's changed over the years with?
Yeah, I guess no, you're right. Technology definitely has everything to do with it. I mean, I wouldn't even say a lot. It has everything to do with it. And with the advent of technology, I guess customer preferences, guest preferences have changed. And, hotel companies, hospitality organizations have recognized that. And they've tried to tweak their services to suit, the expectations and needs of the markets that they advertise to, right?
Yeah.
Gosh, I sound very, commercial and businesslike, and this is not what that's about. It's about experiences. But yes, the long and short of it is that technology definitely has played its role.
All right.
Yeah.
And I want to go back to your years at at the hotels. You and I have talked before, and you've told me some really funny stories.
Oh my goodness!
So, would you want to share one or two of those funny stories with us?
Oh well, where do I even start? Well, well, one thing that comes to mind is I was working in this restaurant, and it was a rooftop restaurant, and very, very popular.
Yeah.
Very, very popular with its food. We would do, 2, 3 turnovers at lunch, 2 turnovers at dinner minimum. It was just full of it. And this one time during lunch, it was so busy, and we were about 40 minutes, 45 minutes away from closing, and there was this one gentleman who came into the restaurant, right? And I looked at him, and the poor guy, you could see that he was done with his day. He was done with life. I don't know what was going on through through his mind, but he just looked defeated. And that's one of the things that you learn in our business, in hospitality. You read body language like that,
Right.
and you immediately want to help. And that's the beauty of hospitality. You just want to help, you just want to be there, you just want to be of some sort of assistance. And you could tell that this poor guy was having such a hard day, and I was, I want to make it, I want to make this guy happy. So
Yeah.
why don't I just go up to him? And I went up to him, and very courteous, offered him a table, and I gave him a menu, and
Excuse me.
I could almost read what was happening in his head. Oh gosh, I've had this day, and I've got to read a menu, and you could just pick that up, and those who are in the business will know what I mean. And I said, don't worry, why don't I get you the specials today? Why don't I get you my favorites? You like it. So I got him a couple of dishes, and he just seemed relieved, and got him a drink, and everything was fine, and the food came.
And what was the food, if I can ask?
Oh well, so I'd suggested some tiger prawns in black bean sauce.
Oh, sounds
Yeah.
yum.
Oh yes, and just some steamed rice to go with it, some kimchi on the side, and some salt and pepper chicken. Just little bits of each. I just wanted this poor guy to have a good day.
Yeah.
And he looked at it, his eyes lit up, and I was like, okay, so, at least he's going to be fed, at least he's going to be fed. I wish I could even pay his bill, but it was so expensive. I just couldn't afford it. Forget it. No, I'm not doing that. And he pulled up his chair, and he started mixing his food. And as he was about to take the first bite, the unthinkable happens. This bulb from the ceiling falls straight into his food.
No. Oh my gosh.
And
oh no.
and I was mortified. I mean, if this guy's day couldn't go any worse. And he just looked at it. I mean, is that an ingredient? I mean, clearly not. What is a bulb doing in my food? And well, clearly, maintenance was, left a bit to be desired. But yeah, bizarre, just out of this world, something like that. Oh my goodness, I just felt for the guy again. Couldn't his day have gone any worse? Well, looked after it immediately. He left happy at the end of the day, sorted it out. But yeah, things like that can happen. It's just so bizarre. you know.
But it's probably nice. I mean, besides obviously the bulb incident, but it probably was really nice to see that you obviously ordered the right things for him. The way, as you said, the way that his eyes lit up.
Yeah. And when you're used to different cuisines, you start to learn the favorites, and you taste them, and anybody in F&B, food and beverage, anybody working with food will know there's a different kind of happiness when you eat what the guests pay exorbitant amounts for. Trade secret. So yeah, I mean, you get to know. Well, that happens sometimes, but one of the things about good businesses or good restaurants and kitchens and good teams that work, in sync with each other in production and services. Every time there's a new dish that comes on, every time a menu changes, or even if it's just the same menu for consistency, there will be food tastings every so often.
And then you guys can all taste the food?
Yeah, so we get to eat the food, we get to taste it. And I think that's important, because if you don't know what the food tastes like, how are you going to sell it?
Right, and especially if somebody asks you, what do you recommend?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's good. Now, story, so you just shared that one. How about, do you have a favorite memory, let's say, from all of this?
Well, I've got lots of good memories. Gosh, where do I start? Where do I even start? I've got lots of good memories. Well, I enjoyed the entire experience of, being a hospitality person.
Yeah.
It is the world's most popular industry for a reason. I made lots of friends. I made some really good ones, some of whom I'm still in touch with today.
Oh, that's incredible. Yeah,
today, 35 years later, I'm still in touch with, a few people that I used to work with back in the day.
Yeah.
When things used to be normal. If I had to single out a professional experience, I would have to say looking after Harrison Ford and his family.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Yes. What an incredible experience. And how did you manage that?
Well, I think the kicker was the level of trust. I was empowered by somebody of that stature, right? He didn't have to do that. That's how it works. It's always got to be ideas, just ideas, creativity. And I think one of the most important things that allow people to be successful in this industry is reflection, I think. Self-reflection, just constantly thirsting for ways of getting better. I think that's firstly a mindset that you have to adopt, that one might have to adopt.
Yeah.
Just be ready for it, for whatever it is. I'd also think a constant thirst for learning, is another section of the mindset that has to be there. And also, a strong heart, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You got to keep your emotions in check as well. I mean, I don't mean just bottle them and keep them there, but it's a fine balance that you have to be able to adopt when you're dealing with them. You're going to have people scream at you, shout at you, whether it's co-workers, senior people, guests, customers. You're going to have to deal with all these different Jekyll and Hyde personalities, and that's true, literally. So It depends. If you're up for it, then I promise you, it's the world's best industry. And it doesn't only contribute to professional growth, no matter where you branch off to after that, but it's a huge contribution to your own personal growth as well.
Okay, that's really good advice.
Yeah.
And it seems like
thank
it's
you.
been a very rewarding career for you.
Oh, definitely has.
And as you said, you really learned personal growth on top of that.
Yeah, it definitely has. I mean, the kind of growth and learning that you get, no university, no college is going to teach you.
Yeah. And that says something right there.
Yeah, it does. I believe it does. I believe it does because that's basically what guests and customers look for in this industry. All they want is answers, and you're supposed to provide them. Yes, you're supposed to provide them. That's it. You are their encyclopedia, you have to know it all.
Yeah. Well, as you said, you're the insider, right? You're the one they come to for the recommendations.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing with us your experiences and your background, Freddie. It's been really fun hearing all these things. Yeah, thanks.
Yes, it was. It was. There's more.
Oh, I know.
So we'll keep that for another episode. So so what's next after this, Erin?
What's next? You know what? So many things.
So many things, we're going to leave it at that. And we will come back to you with what those so many things were. So for now, it's going to be adios. We leave this afternoon. We fly back to Muscat and get right back into work tomorrow. Adios for now.